The call came while I was crossing the street. Not loud, not urgent. Just my sister's name lighting the screen like a bruise you don't remember earning. I didn't answer. I never do when she calls too early. That's when I saw him, tilted sideways in his wheelchair, one wheel caught in a crack, hands trembling as cars hissed past too close. People pretended not to see him. I didn't. I pushed. He thanked me without looking up. We rolled together in silence for half a block before he asked where I was headed. The inheritance meeting, I said. His fingers tightened on the armrest. So am I. I laughed once, a reflex. He didn't. When we arrived, the conference room was already humming with forced politeness. Lawyers, coffee, my sister standing too straight, smiling too fast. Then she saw him. The color drained from her face in one clean motion, like someone had pulled a plug. I watched her eyes lock onto the wheelchair, onto the man I'd just helped inside. And I understood, not what was happening, but that something I'd been told my whole life was about to die. She recovered quickly. She always does. A hand to her chest, a breath. "Who is that?" she asked, voice thin as glass. The old man didn't answer. He studied the room like it was a photograph he'd seen before and never forgotten. I told myself it was nothing. Coincidence, nerves, inheritance brings out theater in everyone. But my stomach had already begun to close. The lawyer cleared his throat. Papers shifted. Names were checked. Then the old man spoke. Soft, careful. "My name," he said, "is Daniel Mercer." My sister sat down too fast. Mercer, our mother's maiden name. The one she said belonged to a man who died before we were born. A story she told cleanly, efficiently, without detail. The lawyer blinked. "Mr. Mercer, we weren't informed." "No," the old man said. "You weren't meant to be." I didn't look at my sister. I didn't need to. I could feel her fear like heat. I had always been the careful one. The one who noticed when numbers didn't add up, when stories changed shape depending on who was listening, when my sister's grief over our mother felt rehearsed. After the meeting adjourned, postponed, technically, I walked Daniel outside. He thanked me again. Then he asked if I knew the truth. Didn't look at my sister. I didn't need to. I could feel her fear like heat. I had always been the careful one. The one who noticed when numbers didn't add up, when stories changed shape depending on who was listening, when my sister's grief over our mother felt rehearsed. After the meeting adjourned, postponed, technically, I walked Daniel outside. He thanked me again. Then he asked if I knew the truth. I said no. He nodded. "She hopes you never will." That night I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I pulled records, hospital logs, birth certificates, the kind of documents people assume disappear if they don't look for them. They don't. 2 days later, I had a copy of my original birth record. Father, Daniel Mercer. My sister's? Different name. Different handwriting. Adopted. Quietly. Strategically. I thought of the way she'd always called me lucky. Chosen. I understood now what she meant. I asked Daniel to meet me once more before the rescheduled hearing. He told me everything without drama. How my mother hid him when he became sick. How my sister learned the truth years ago. How she'd threatened to keep him invisible unless he signed away claims. He did. Until he saw my name listed as executor. "She didn't expect you," he said. Neither did I. At the final meeting, I sat calmly while my sister unraveled. I handed the lawyer a folder. Updated documents, medical verification, proof of coercion. The room went silent in the way rooms do when lies finally run out of oxygen. My sister stared at me like she was seeing a ghost she'd created and failed to control. "You knew?" she whispered. "I noticed," I said. That was all. The inheritance was restructured, transparently, legally, painfully. She lost control first, then composure, then everything she thought she owned. I didn't watch her leave. Afterward, Daniel thanked me. I told him he didn't owe me that. Outside, the sun was setting. The wheelchair wheels clicked softly over the pavement. I felt lighter. Not because I'd won, because I finally understood where the weight had come from. Some people steal money, others steal years. I walked away without looking back, already practicing the art of living without her shadow. And for the first time, the silence felt earned.